Good morning. This is Pierre Gary here, your daily motivator. As always, here to challenge, inspire, and motivate you. And of course, what exactly am I motivating you to? Well, you know me, I'm all about business and all about personal life, how the two of them work together and get you to a place where you are performing at your best and really reaching your goals and winning in this life. So with that said, today let's start with episode 370. Yesterday, we talked about the all or nothing superstar. And of course, I was leveraging the information, the batting average of a Hall of Famer known as Babe Ruth to share with you about that all or nothing, about the guy who's always going for home runs. And if anybody had one of the best averages, one of the best batting averages, it was definitely the Babe. And of course, we look back when, as far back as 1924, he had an average of 378. .378 was his batting average in 1 year. That's crazy. You know, that's almost unheard of, right? Especially in our times. But today I want to talk to you about the consistent guy. The guy that was not only at bat many more times than the Babe, he played more games than the Babe, but also what's powerful is that he was a hitter, consistently hitting the ball. Now, his batting average, hovered around the Babes, but in the end, for the 24 years that he played, his average came down to 303. Okay, so when you think about Pete Rose and the fact that he was a consistent player, he played many games, multiple games, and this guy really, he was at bat in those 24 years about 14,000 times. Now, keep in mind, he played about 1,000 more games than the Babe. Whereas the Babe played for 22 years, the Babe only played in 2,500 plus games. However, Pete Rose, in 2 more years, he played in 3,500 plus games. So that explains why he was at bat 14,000 times. But also the number of hits in those 24 years amounted to more than 4,250 hits, whereas the Babe had 2,873 hits in his 22 years. And of course, when Pete Rose played, some of the rules changed in the game. However, that does not deny his personal record. And here's the point. Are you consistently going for the hit? You see, it's like me lately. On my Daily Motivator podcast, I've gotten up and I'm ready to hit. And ready to hit simply means I'm ready to give you something worthwhile for your day. Ready to drop something that you're going to take for the day and it's going to make you think. So if it's really about your morning routine, which obviously you can get my book, The Successful Entrepreneur's Morning Routine, it's important for you to have a way to hit day after day. You've got to have a plan. And really that plan has to be in line with your goals. And the reason on this weekend reflection, second one of course, Saturdays and Sundays seem to be the day when I do those, I want you to think with me about consistency. How consistent do you plan or intend to be? So remember I shared with you on one of my prior episodes that intentions didn't build jack. You're going to have to go beyond your intentions and actually put a plan on the calendar. Now, I'm a calendar-driven person. And as a calendar-driven man, what I'm telling you is this. If it's not on the calendar, it basically is not happening. Meaning, you're going to run into conflicts. You're going to run into things boxing out the time you've set aside for something else. And this is why it's so important to put things on the calendar. Because then you can consistently find them there as you consistently put them there. And then you can decide, are we doing this today or not? So for me, for instance, on my calendar, every morning, it's doing the Daily Motivator. And right now, it's a little past 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. The time has changed for those of you on the East Coast. Welcome. And of course, those across the U.S., except in Arizona, where I have a good friend where we're still 3 hours away. So, point is this. You've got a decision to make. And your decision is quite simple. Are you going to be consistently hitting and hitting and hitting nonstop? Every opportunity you get to go at bat, are you at least 1 out of 3 times going to get it? Well, guess what? On average, the Babe did it. And he did it so well that, of course, he ended up in the Hall of Fame. Pete Rose also. He did it so well, of course, based on issues that happened during his tenure as a baseball player and off the field. He's, got some issues to deal with the Hall of Fame. But that's going to be their decision. The fact is, what he put up on the field was definitely worthy of being a Hall of Famer. And all the awards that he had, the Gold Gloves, the MVPs, and all that good stuff. So the point here is this for you. Are you gonna be a gold slugger or a silver slugger? Are you gonna get out there and be consistent? Because to get either one of those, you're gonna have to be consistently going out every day, stepping into the ring every day, coming just like those waves nonstop. I'm here, I'm looking at the ocean. The waves don't stop. They're coming. They're hitting the shore over and over and over and over. They are consistent. They don't take a day off, matter of fact. You see, in the game of baseball, basketball, or football, people get injured and they stop for a moment. Here, with the ocean, whether it's a hurricane, whether it's a normal day, the waves are still moving towards the shore. They are still hitting the shore. They don't stop. They probably are the most consistent thing that we live with. Well, there's another consistent thing that you have, and I'm using mine right now. It's your breath. You've got to use your breath for the right thing. And, what I'm really wanting to drive home for you is the importance of being consistent. Your breath is possibly the most consistent thing that you have, but I want you to set aside time to consistently think, consistently write, consistently speak, consistently exchange ideas in a mastermind. See, it is said that you're the average of the 5 folks that you hang with. My question to you is, who are you hanging with today? Who's causing you to think? Who's causing you to raise your vision 1 level higher than it is today? Who's causing you to push past your tiredness? Come on, your discouragement. Come on, push past your circumstances to move into a place where you can become consistent again. I'm telling you, at 370 episodes, right now, it feels great. But you know what? Hey, we can always say we could have been further along. But don't despise the day of small beginnings. Keep moving forward. And like Pete Rose there, be consistent. Just every time you get at bat, come on, get some hits, get some runs, get some RBIs, meaning get some other players home, right? That's your goal. Your goal is to be consistently hitting. Don't worry about how many home runs you score. See, that's the all or nothing mentality. We're always looking at the home runs. Oh, I'm going to make $100,000 this year. Yeah, it's absolutely possible. I've done it. Others have done it. It's not a big deal. What's important is that, are you going to be consistent? Because if you're consistent for the next 3 years, trust me, you can pull $1 million. You can pull 500,000. You can pull even more than you thought was possible, because your consistently is going to be like the drip that ultimately wears out the rock. Just like those waves, they are hitting the rocks on the shore, and eventually they're shaving away part of the rock. Yes, there are limits that the Lord has set on them, but regardless, they are still hitting the shore. They're like, we want to move closer. We want to move closer, and we're just going to be consistent. So this is Pierre Laguerre, your daily motivator. Let me know if this is resonating with you. Please go ahead, review, and subscribe to this podcast. I have a whole lot more coming your way on a consistent daily basis. And I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you on the next episode.